guys, Briantech here, bringing you another Runescape video. Now today it's going to be a charm collecting guide for 2015, and it's pretty much how to get charms fast. In my opinion, are the most efficient ways to get a certain type of charms. But first, this is a charms guide for 2015, and it will be mainly covering the types of monsters to kill per particular charms. But first, here are some tips for charm collecting. Doing Wolfwhistle will get you up to level 4 summoning, which is huge because not only will you be able to save charms, but you'll be able to get enough gold charms to reach level 16 summoning, which is a big boost. So I highly recommend you do Wolfwhistle before you actually start training your summoning up. Having a charming imp is a very big help because you don't have to pick up your charms and makes it a whole lot easier. I know that it costs 100k dungeoneering tokens, but it is a really big help. You won't miss charms, and you'll make your things much more enjoyable, and you'll be able to obtain charms faster because you don't have to worry about picking it up, and you know, it's pretty much less of a hassle, I guess. You'll be getting it passively. Another good tip is familiarization. Familiarization is a way to get triple charms for 45 minutes, but you'll have to put in a bit of effort. You have to find the summoning apprentice from the Wolfwhistle, talk to him, play a bit of a mini game, and then you will get the reward for 45 minutes of triple charms. But if you don't know it, go to the Runescape wiki for more information, for more in-depth information, or go watch a YouTube video. Training with Slayer will help a lot because you'll be collecting charms on top of training your Slayer, so you'll be getting your charms passively, like I said. You won't have enough charms to get to 99, but to get to 99 summoning if you get 99 Slayer, but you'll have to do a little bit of extra work, but you should get it over time, you know, just from killing bosses for fun and stuff. You should be able to get enough charms for that. Now with all of that out of the way, let's get on with the actual guide. Now the first method is going to be involving collecting gold charms. They're very cheap, they're mediocre XP, which means they're average. You get what you pay for, and they have a pretty good GP to XP ratio. They're good for players on a budget. So they're pretty much good for starting players, you know, just to get up to like 52 summoning or something like that, because they're not really too expensive, and they give okay XP, and they're very easy to obtain. Now the first method that I highly recommend is killing giant rock crabs. They are located north of the Grain Exchange. You will have to go through the wilderness, so don't bring gear that is too expensive or that you're scared to die with, even though there's not a lot of player killers out there. They're very easy to kill. Just use magic. By the way, they're weak to fire spells, but I don't think it's necessary for you to use fire spells. Drop 3 gold charms per kill. There are safe spots for lower level players, and overall, it's a very good method to get your gold charms while getting magic XP too. Now for lower level players, I highly recommend you bring a little bit of food, maybe a teleport tablet, just in case if you need a way to get out of there. Now the second method is for medium to higher level players. Now they are killing hounds. Hounds are for medium to higher level players because they do quite a bit of damage if you're not safe spotting, but lower levels can kill it too if they have decent stats, and there are safe spots there also. Hounds are located in the Tal'Vori dungeon, and there are some other spots, but the Tal'Vori dungeon is the most convenient one for most players. They're very easy to kill. There are safe spots, like I said, for for players who have a lower defense. They're almost empty, and they're really good in gold charms. If you have the access to the resource dungeon in the Tal'Vori dungeon, they're pretty much empty. Maybe one person out of 10 worlds that are in there. So I highly recommend you kill hounds. And if you're training Slayer, you're bound to get this task, so it's a win-win situation if you're training with hounds. Now if you're a lower level player, I highly suggest you go kill fire giants. Fire giants are easier to kill than hounds. They're an alternative for it, and they drop pretty good gold charms. They are located in the Chaos Tunnels and in the Waterfall Quest dungeon area. So if you guys can't kill hounds, I highly suggest you go kill fire giants because they're much easier to kill and good for lower level players. Now the second charm that you guys can collect are green charms. Green charms are somewhat expensive, and they can get somewhat expensive to pretty expensive really quick. They're mediocre XP, just slightly better than gold. So I highly don't recommend you collect these because they're not really good at GP to XP ratio. So I will only be showing you guys one method for this. The method that I'm going to be showing you guys is killing dragons, all types of dragons pretty much. Locations are going to vary depending on the type of dragon that you're killing. Steel dragons are a bit better, but not by much compared to others. These monsters drop a good bit of green charms, and they drop other charms also. And depending on the dragon that you kill, you can make from around 1 mil to 3 mil plus per hour, which should cover some of your expenses for training, summoning, your supplies to actually collect it or whatever. So I highly don't recommend you guys collect green charms, but if you do, just go kill dragons. You know, you guys can make some money while collecting some green charms on top of that. And the third charm that you guys can collect are crimson charms. They're somewhat expensive, but they are great in XP, have a good GP to XP ratio. I highly recommend collecting these charms because most people train with crimson charms to get to 99 just because they're good in XP. They're not too expensive like greens, and they're not that hard to collect also, unlike green charms. Now there are some methods that you guys can use to collect crimson charms, but the method I recommend for lower level players is killing black demons. They're for lower to medium level players. There are several spots, but the main one is in the Cavalry dungeon. They're very, very easy to kill. They have a 4 to 5 out of 10 chance of dropping crimsons. Like I said, they're easy to kill. Drops Infernal Ashheads, which is around 2k, which is good for low level players who are trying to make some money while getting charms. And if you have a Slayer task, you'll have a higher chance of getting charms, and you'll be getting Slayer XP on top of that, and you'll be doing bonus damage. So if you guys are training with Slayer, I highly recommend you do that because, you know, it's a win-win situation like I said. And waterfiends is the second method. They're for medium to higher level players. Locations vary. Some of them are in the Chaos Tunnels and in the Ancient Caverns. The best Crimson Charm dropper in the game. You can get over 200 plus charms easy, and if you have familiarization, you guys can get almost up to 600 plus charms. They're very easy to kill. They're great XP. The cons is that the place can get quite crowded, but I think the pros outweigh the cons because they're very great range XP and Crimson Charm droppers. So if you guys can find a world where there's only maybe 1 or 2 people, I highly suggest you go kill waterfiends. And they are a Slayer task monster too. So if you guys don't get the memo already, train your summoning or collect charms while doing Slayer because it's a win-win situation. And our bonus method is killing the King Black Dragon. They're for medium to higher level players. They're located north of the Edgeville Monastery. They almost always drop 4 Crimson Charms per kill, and so they're a consistent source of them. You can make a good bit of money while collecting charms and have a chance of getting rare drops like the Dragon Rider gear, which is around 3 mil. When I was killing it, on my 3rd kill, I got a Dragon Helmet, which is almost as rare as a Dragon Rider gear, but I was just really unlucky. But, you know, maybe if I had a little bit more luck, I could have made 3 mil in 3 kills, but Jagex is never on my side. But anyways, you guys can probably make a good bit of money while bossing too. Now the 4th charm in the game is blue charms. Blue charms, you guys can kill any higher level monsters like bosses. They're not recommended to farm or train with because they're hard to kill, and they are super expensive to train with. They aren't too efficient to farm also because they're somewhat hard to get. But if you still want to farm some blue charms, then I recommend killing exiled Calphites. They have a 1/4 chance of dropping blues, and they also have a 1/4 chance of dropping crimsons also, and they only have a 1/4 chance of not dropping anything at all. So you're bound to get charms 3/4 of your kills. They're very easy to kill. They're weak. You guys can use magic, melee, or range, or whatever, but I highly recommend you guys use mage just because, you know, it's very cheap, and I think some of them are weak to magic. And you guys can also make around 1 to 2 mil per hour by collecting the damaged chitons and banking them and turning them into chitin scraps to repair Drygores. So if you guys want to make a bit of money while collecting some blue charms, go ahead. Now there are also some extra methods that you guys can collect charms with. There are other monsters like bork. They always drop a set amount of charms, and it's a daily event. So if you really want to get blue charms, you guys can easily kill bork if you did the quest already. And another extra method is killing ascension monsters. Any ascension monsters, really, gladii, rorarii, or anything like that. They all work. They're not the best charms in the game, but you will get a good bit while getting money. It can get a bit crowded, but they're worth killing because you guys can make around 2 to 3 mil per hour and get some good decent bit of charms, around 200 plus per hour, various charms. The other method is dagganoths. They're great XP. They're AFK. They drop a good bit of charms while killing it, and they can be expensive depending on what you do. If you cannon, you burst the prayer pots and stuff. You know, the supplies can get a bit expensive. They're not the best charm droppers, but if you, depending on what method you do, you guys can get a lot of charms because you guys can kill these very easily. I highly don't recommend you guys single attack it like me, but if you guys have a cannon or if you guys are planning to burst it, go ahead because you'll get a lot more charms with that. And the extra method is also bonfires. Bonfires is an extra method of getting charms while training your fire making up. They're not great in charms, but a plus when training in fire making. You might as well get some charms while training, right? And I got like over 200, I think, plus charms just from training, just from casually picking up bonfires and getting charms from them. So if you guys are training fire making, I highly suggest you guys go take the bonfires. You know, you guys can get a little bit of charms while doing that also. But that's gonna wrap up my video, guys. I hope you guys liked it. Comment if you have any more questions or criticisms or anything like that, or if I forgot a method, or if you guys think a method should be added in there for other players to know. Leave it in the comment section below. I'd love to hear that, and it'll help me out also and help the other players out in Runescape also. But other than that, guys, I hope you guys liked this video. Please give a like if you enjoyed it. Comment if you have any more questions or criticisms or anything like that, and subscribe for more future content, guys. But other than that, have a good day. Bye.